You know the feeling, right? The endless buffering wheel, that video call that drops right at the most important part, that game that lags just when you're about to win? Bad Wi-Fi feels like some kind of mysterious curse, but I promise you, it's not. It's actually a puzzle. And in the next few minutes, we are going to give you all the pieces you need to finally solve it. So let's start building your battle plan.
This is it, the big question. The one that keeps us all up at night. Is it your internet provider? Is your laptop just old? Maybe it's the weather. Well, the truth is, the culprit is often something hiding right there, inside your own home. And we are about to pull back the curtain on what's causing your biggest connectivity headaches. Okay, so before you can win a battle, you gotta know your weapons, right? For us, that means the hardware. Before we can even think about fixing the signal, we need to get to know the devices that actually create it in the first place. So let's meet the key players on our team.
First up, the access point, or AP for short. This is the absolute foundation of your wireless world. Just think of it as the radio tower for your house. It takes that physical wired internet connection from the wall and broadcasts it out as that magical Wi-Fi signal that all our devices love to connect to. Simple as that.
Okay, next up is the router. Now, if the access point is creating the Wi-Fi bubble, the router is the traffic cop. It's the brains of the operation. It looks at every single piece of data, every email, every video stream, and decides exactly where it needs to go. Is it going from your laptop out to the internet? Or from the internet to your smart TV? The router directs all that traffic. Now this slide right here clears up so much confusion. Back in the old days of networking, we used things called hubs. And a hub is basically a loudspeaker. It just shouts every piece of data to every single device connected to it, whether they need it or not. As you can imagine, it's super noisy and wildly inefficient. A switch, on the other hand, which is what we all use today, is so much smarter. It's like having a private conversation. It delivers data only to the specific device that asked for it. That's why our modern networks are just so much faster.
And yeah, not all switches are created equal. The kind you've probably got at home is an unmanaged switch. It's pure plug and play. You just plug your stuff in and it works, no questions asked. But in big businesses or really complex networks, they use a managed switch. This thing gives an IT pro a whole control panel to fine-tune traffic, beef up security, and really dial in the performance. It's the difference between a simple tool and a professional-grade instrument.
So, what happens when you've got a massive space, like a whole office building or a school campus, with dozens, maybe hundreds of access points? I mean, trying to manage them one by one would be an absolute nightmare. That's where a wireless controller comes in. It's the puppet master, the big brain of the whole network. It lets one person see and control everything from a bird's eye view, pushing out updates and tweaking settings for all the APs at once.
All right, so we've got our gear down. We know the hardware. Now we need to talk about the battlefield itself. And this is where things get really interesting. Because the Wi-Fi battlefield is, well, it's completely invisible. It's a world of radio frequencies, signal, and noise. The first thing we need to wrap our heads around is signal strength. This is simply how loud the Wi-Fi signal is by the time it gets to your phone or laptop. We measure it in this kind of weird unit called dBm, which is on a scale from 0 down to -100. Now, I know it sounds a little technical, but stick with me, it's easier than it looks. Okay, listen up, because this is the most important and maybe the most counterintuitive part. With signal strength, closer to 0 is better. It feels backwards, I know, but a signal of -41 dBm is fantastic, while a signal of -61 dBm is way, way weaker. Just think of it like a golf score, right? The lower the number, the better. But signal strength is only half the story. Your Wi-Fi isn't operating in a perfectly silent room. Oh no. It's constantly competing with a sea of background radio noise coming from all sorts of other devices. This noise is the #1 enemy of a clean, stable connection. And for noise, the rule is the complete opposite of signal strength. Here you want the number to be as big and negative as you can possibly get. A noise level of -96 dBm? That's practically library quiet. Perfect. A noise level of -20? Whoa, that's like trying to have a conversation in the middle of a rock concert. So for noise, more negative is always better. So this brings us to the one number to rule them all. The single most important metric for great Wi-Fi, the signal-to-noise ratio, or SNR. And it's actually super simple. It's just the difference between your signal strength and the background noise. This number tells you how much your signal is rising above all that interference.
And here's the magic number you're aiming for, an SNR of positive 25 or higher. That's the goal.
And this example shows you exactly why SNR is king. Check this out. In both of these scenarios, the signal strength is identical, a totally respectable negative 41 dBm. But in that first one, the room is noisy, which gives us a terrible SNR of just +9. That connection is going to feel awful. Now look at the second one. Same exact signal, but this time the room is quiet. And boom, we get an incredible SNR of +55. That is a rock-solid, excellent connection. It proves it's not just about how loud you're talking, it's about how quiet the room is.
So, where is all this annoying noise coming from? Well, you've got the usual suspects, like your neighbor's Wi-Fi network. But then you have the really sneaky ones, the non-Wi-Fi villains that are hiding in plain sight. We're talking Bluetooth speakers, cordless phones, wireless security cameras. Even your video game controllers can be sabotaging your network.
And then we have the heavyweight champion of Wi-Fi interference, the microwave oven. And I'm serious, this is not a myth. Because they operate in the same 2.4 gigahertz frequency band, a running microwave can absolutely devastate a nearby Wi-Fi signal. So yeah, you might want to think twice about where you put your router, and maybe hold off on nuking that burrito during your big video conference.
Okay, deep breath. We know our gear. We understand the invisible battlefield. Now, it's time to talk strategy. This is the Wi-Fi placement playbook. This is how we use all that knowledge to actually win.
Now, to really understand placement, you just need to know this one simple rule of thumb. It's called the rule of tens and threes. It goes like this. A loss of 3 decibels, a -3 dB change, cuts your signal power in half. Just like that. A loss of 10 decibels, that is a massive hit. It reduces your signal to just 1/10 of its original power. Keep that in your head as we look at the next slide.
So why does that rule matter so much? Well, look at this. This is what your Wi-Fi signal is fighting against every single day. That simple piece of drywall between rooms, boom, a 3 dB loss. Half your power's gone, just like that. But now look at a concrete or brick wall, a 12 dB loss. That reduces your signal to less than 1/10 of its original strength. The stuff your house is made of matters a lot.
So here they are, the golden rules, the actionable advice you can use literally right now. Number 1, place your access point up high and in a central location in your home. Don't shove it in a corner or hide it in a cabinet. Number 2, keep it away from all those interference villains we talked about, especially the microwave. And number 3, if you have multiple floors, don't stack the APs right on top of each other. Stagger them so their signals cover the space both sideways and up and down. And just so you know, on a huge corporate scale, the future of managing all these variables is something called software-defined networking. It's a really smart way to make entire networks programmable and automated. But for our battle plan at home, let's just stick to the essentials.
All right, let's bring it all home. This is it, your final battle plan. If you remember nothing else, remember this. 1, aim for that golden signal-to-noise ratio of +25 or higher. 2, make sure your signal strength is at least -62 dBm everywhere you need good coverage. 3, become an interference detective. Hunt down those sources and move them. 4, place your AP like a pro, high, central, and out in the open. And finally, 5, always, always respect the power of a concrete wall.
And that's it. You are now officially armed and dangerous in the fight for good Wi-Fi. You know the hardware, you understand the invisible forces at play, and you have a strategic playbook. So the only question I have left for you is this. What's the first weak spot you're going to fix in your own network battlefield?